of you who are here to get a sense of how many of you are planning to submit papers, or maybe some of you already have submitted papers, and how many of you are planning to come to the conference. So that just to get a general little snapshot from this group. Okay, the conference is an informational webinar on the international conference. This is the 4th time we are having this international conference, and this is being held this year in January 2017. Website is ICTIEE.org, International Conference for Transformations in Engineering Education. So keep that in mind, and let me see, and let's see. Yeah. Okay, so I'm trying to connect to that, and sometimes it is slow. I know it's frustrating if it is slow, but let us see if it works. Yeah. Okay, so this has moved forward. So here we have the conference website. I'll just run through it, overview first, and then as we wait for more people to join, we'll get to the details. Okay, so this is the and many of you might have already gone through this website, but let me just move it down anyway, page down. So you got the call for papers, and you got some details of the experts that are already confirmed on the sponsorship flyer. Then you got flyers for each of the 3 locations, the collaborators, and then the sponsors, and some more sponsors are going to come up in very shortly, and then some details about the committee, and some details about the previous 3 conferences. Okay, so let me point out that we have had 3 conferences already, and this is the 4th one. So we've had some experience in conducting these conferences, and what's important is that that these conferences are not only for the people presenting papers. So sometimes people think, oh, you're not presenting a paper, why should I go? Okay, so I want to give a quick discussion on that, because it's very important for participants and colleges to realize that there should be a lot of participants from your colleges who should come, even if papers, they are presenting papers, and if you look at the previous sessions, that has been the case in Hubli. That was the first one that we had, 2014. We had January. We had 400 people came, but only 75 papers published. So there were a lot of participants came to learn. And learn how to work on developing papers to publish at this kind of a conference. This is a different kind of conference. It is a conference on transformations in engineering education. So in this case, your classroom is your laboratory. You're trying some innovations. You're trying some things to improve the quality of your students and employability of your students, and you're getting some results and surveys, and you're documenting those, and then you're using your results to then analyze and discuss a research question that you might have, and discuss the results and publish that in the form of a presentation and a paper. So this is something that is not common yet in most engineering colleges, and therefore it is important for college heads of deans and principals of all engineering colleges to encourage many faculty to come to observe, to learn as participants, even if they're not presenting papers, because if they come and observe and see that other faculty are presenting papers from other places, they will get some idea what types of papers to think about, how they can improve things in their own laboratory, in their own classroom, and maybe in the future years they will be ready to to publish papers, because otherwise they will not know what to do and how to publish papers at such a conference. And so we had at BMS, the second one we had almost 700 participants, and the number of papers was much higher, 125 papers. And then in Pune, as you can see, a few more people who attended the previous 2 conferences got the confidence to write, publish papers and submit them to the conference. So now we have 200 papers, and we have 900 participants, and therefore we have lot more participants attended beyond what the pages published papers. And these participants then are learning a lot about engineering education research and how to publish papers at such conferences. And therefore, in 2017, I expect many of them will have prepared, have results to discuss in the form of papers for 2017. So, very important point that you should realize and that you should communicate to the faculty in your institution that attending this conference you don't have to present a paper, because there are many things that you will learn by attending this conference. So as you go along, I encourage each one of you to text your messages. As Krishna Vidula from IUC, just text any questions, doubts that you have about the conference, about your participation in the conference, and so on. Okay, so feel free to do that. I want to recognize that there are 17 of you here today. Maybe there's some more will join. There's Abha Patak, Anil Pandit, Peksha Bagmare, Jagdish Kodihar, Kavita Bani, Krishnanjali Shinde, Manisha Bende, Manohar Joshi, Meenal Shahakar, Prasanjit Patil, Revati Yagappan, Ripal Ranpara, Satyendra Bhatt, Smita Kot, Suvarna Pansaval, and Tejasri Devkar, and Thani Vedatri. Okay, so thank you all for joining. So let me just quickly go through the website and keep the questions coming. Because I'll keep looking at them a bunch in a way, and then in a few minutes I'll conduct a quick poll on how many of you are planning to come and present the papers. So here is in the website we have the dates. The first one is in January 6th, 7th, and 8th at Vardhaman. The second one is January 10th and 9th and 10th at Rajkot at Atmiya University. And then we have the third one on January 11th and 12th at Manipal University, Jaipur. And the reason for having 3 locations is to expand our movement, so that we get more people from Gujarat involved, more people from the north, Jaipur involved, because otherwise if we just stay in the south, then people will be, and we've had 2 in Karnataka, one in Maharashtra. So now this time we have one in Andhra Pradesh to cover the south. But some of you might, the south might want to go to Jaipur, a nice city, nice place to go visit. Some from the north might want to go south, but so all of that is something that would like to happen. So again, the theme of this 4th conference, as it was before, is to connect engineering educators, not just within India, within colleges, but from leaders around the world and with industry, to share best practices, and then using that to learn how to transform their own efforts to prepare more employable graduates. So that's really the theme of that. And if you look at the confirmed speakers, and I already have there, we're expecting about 30 or so international speakers like this who will be coming and giving keynotes and different topics. And again, that itself is a worthwhile reason for coming to this conference, is to learn from experts from outside and from experts inside how to improve the engineering education in your own institution, and then perhaps then motivate yourself to do some little bit of research and publish papers at similar conferences in the future. So if you are submitting a paper, there is a link here for submitting the papers. The deadline for submitting papers, very strict deadline. Those who submitted last year knew, because we stuck to the deadline, and those who were late were rejected. So we have this call for papers, and we will stick to the deadline. Don't go by what other conferences do. We will stick to our deadline. So September 15th is the deadline, and I'm going to see if this is going to open up or not. So the call for papers link is one common link for the call for papers, which is taking a little longer than the main part did. But anyway, here we are. Okay. So if you go in there, you will find that there is some general information, and then there is one link where you go and you register on this Microsoft conference website. Okay. So once you register, then you can access any one of the 3 locations. So here we have the conference. If this is for all 3 together, you register on this, and since I've already registered, it took me directly to the page. But if you first time, it will ask you to create a password and username and password, and then you will come to this page and you'll be able to go to each of these three locations. Okay, so that's what you will find when you click on this first one here. That's where you will sign in, then create an account, and then after that, after registering on that, then you would then submit your manuscript for each location separately. Okay, so you would go to this site to submit the manuscript for Hyderabad. And then you go to the other sites for this one is for Rajkot, and then there's one for Manipal University, Jaipur. So deadlines again September 15th. Now, if you go to one of these sites, what you will find is the let's see if I can go into, see if does it allow me to do that or not. Okay, so if you go into one of these, and this is the Hyderabad site. Right now I'm in here as a chair, so let me go in as an author, because you will be an author. When you sign up, you will see something like this. All right, so you will see that there is a create new submission. So you will click on create new submission, and once you do that, it will start asking you a bunch of questions, and then gradually take you to. Okay, so here is when you click on create new submission, it will have these instructions. Okay, for creating a new submission. Welcome, thank you for your interest, etc. You're required to submit a complete paper, not just an abstract. Paper should be around 5 to 6 pages. You're required to use the template provided, and there is a link here given. What you need to do is copy and paste this link onto a different browser, different entry into the browser. When you do that, you will get the Word document, which will give you the template. So let me just go to that and see if I can open that up for you. So if you put that in there in a browser and clicked on that, it will open up a Microsoft Word document. And if you click download that and open it up, which is what it is doing right now, this is the template for submitting, because it's going to publish in the paper G, Journal of Education Transformations, if it is accepted. So this is so it has got the sample size, and it has got the fonts that are required for different types, different things. It has how you should put the different headings, the page outline, borders, and then figures and tables, how you should put the figures and tables, and how you should reference papers and you have in there, and whatever other things that you might need. So the template is in that place. Okay, so don't just submit any random template. So you must follow the process for that particular template. And so what you're going to see there is that link is there when you click on new submission, and so you would see, and then submit your paper only as a Word document, because that way we can take out the authors' names and send it for blind review to the reviewers, who we have compiled a list of reviewers for the purpose. And then you're also required to submit a second file with photo and brief bios of all the authors. The accepted CAT papers will be selected in the following categories. One is a paper accepted for 15-minute presentation, oral presentation, and it will be all these are published on CD, available at the conference. Some of the best papers will be submitted, would be printed on that journal as well. Okay, so this is the information about this particular conference. Okay, let me go back to the. So that's really all. The main thing that you need to know is how to submit a paper. So once you submit a paper which has a deadline of September 15th, then the other information you need. And again, keep in mind, you can keep asking questions as they come to your mind. I haven't seen any question yet, but feel free to ask questions. Okay, so the paper submission is online, as I just demonstrated to you. Deadline is September 15th, and then we go through a blind review process. And by November 15th, we tell you whether you're accepted or rejected, and then we ask the accepted papers to send us camera-ready papers by December 1st. All the and the publication of the papers will be in our journal for engineering education transformations, which has got a regular, ISBN, ISSN line number, etc. And this is the third year we have the journal. So by the end of the third year, it becomes also shown on Google Scholar for people, and so that becomes a regular journal and publicly known about by everybody all over the world. So all the accepted papers will be printed online, published online in JITIIE, and 75 of the best papers will be also in print issues of JITIIE, in the 4 print issues. There's one January, April, July, and October. And all the accepted papers also will be published. They will be available on CD, which will be available at the conference. Okay, so I just wanted to give you that summary of what happens with in the case of the publication. So now going back to the website from where we got to this point, we got to this point and call for papers, and we are working. The committees are working on details of registration and so on. But there are some flyers that will give you, some idea of what the general fee structure is, and we're going to go to that in just a few minutes. Okay, so as you can see, some very distinguished people from around the world will be coming, and even though it's in 3 locations, most of them are willing to to travel very quickly between each location and get to the second location and the third location. And there's a sponsor flyer in case any of you have found people who are willing to be sponsors. Particularly, there is a category. Let me do that before I forget. We have already several platinum sponsors, some of them waiting for confirmation, several other sponsors as well. But there's a category called institutional sponsors. Already 3 institutions have become sponsors: KD Tech University, BMS College of Engineering, MBJ College of Engineering, Bangalore. Now, what does that mean? The institutional sponsorship category costs $1,000, rather $2,000, and as half of that, the $1,000, is for your continuing membership for the next year automatically. And institutional members also get a free subscription to JITIIE, print and online, for 1 year, and then the institute sponsors get their names on all the souvenirs, all the banners, all the conference materials, and publicity for the conference and the website. So a lot of branding value you get by becoming an institutional sponsor, and that costs just $2,000. Half of it automatically goes into renewal of IUC membership. So if you are in an institution and in a decision-making role, or try to convince somebody in your institution to become an institutional sponsor, this is a good time to approach them and convince them to become institutional sponsors. Now, if you look at the flyer, I'll take one of the flyers. Each one has a slightly different flyer. I want to open up one of the flyers, which is the flyer for RK University. So there it gives you some general information, but I think the most important parts again are the logistics, registration details, last paper, start date, first paper, September 15th, notification acceptance, December 15th, camera ready copy, December 1, the student forum registration, author registration, December 1, workshop registration, December 20. And the fees for participation, and they're the same in all locations. The early bird registration is up to December 1, 2016, and they are for faculty participants who are members of IUC consortium colleges. It's 3,500 rupees, and for faculty participants who are not members of from colleges which are not members of IUC consortium, it is 5,000 rupees. And also the industry participants also, it is 5,000 rupees per attending. So this is for each location separately. And then after December 1, the rates go up just a little bit, about 500 rupees each, and then the schedules are given. So all of this is general information that you will get from each of the flyers that can be obtained for the particular location that you are interested in. Okay, now some of you I know are anxious to have submitted papers and anxious to actually start registering. We have not yet got to that point yet. We're working on it. Every week we've been working diligently on getting a registration link on this website. We will have that registration link in a couple of weeks. So just like we have the flyers, below that we'll have a link for registration. And when you go into registration, it will allow you to fill up a registration form for that particular location, and also it will give you 3 options for payment. One can be through a payment window like Paytm or PayU. The other option is to fill up the form and send a DD to a specified address. There will be a 15% discount, group discount for 5 or more people from any one institution. And so and then the third category, a third way you can do it by net banking. You can send the fees. So all of this, I'm hoping that within the next 2 or 3 weeks we will have a good system that will. There's a link from here. Registration will allow you to do that. We're working on it. But as you can see, working with 3 different locations and various people, and it has been taking a little longer than we had anticipated to come up with the registration link over here. Okay, so again, I see that all of you have kind of gone to sleep. So I'm going to wake you up a little bit with a poll. So I'm going to ask a question. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question and see if you're awake. Okay, the question will be, I'm going to create a new poll. Okay, the question will be, are you planning to submit a paper to ICTIEE 2017? And just yes or no. Okay, that's a very simple question. And the next, after we're done with that, I will ask the second question: are you planning to attend ICTIEE? Because as I said, you don't have to submit a paper. There's so much good information that you will get from the conference that you can, as a participant, come without submitting a paper. So the first question is, I plan to submit a paper to ICTIEE, and that's what I'm going to launch right now, and hopefully some of you will be awake to respond to it. So the poll is open. I would like you all to use that to click on the appropriate place whether you plan to attend or no, yes or no. We've got 1 or 2 people have responded. Keep going. Only a few people have responded. Keep on. I'm going to wait. Only have 24% have voted. That's not a good number. Maybe 76% are fast asleep. You have to do something. You have to act. It's an active process. Let's see if I can call out their names and get people to wake up. Abha, Anil, Apeksha Vagmare, Jagdish Korihal, Kavita Bani, Krishnanjali Shinde, Manisha Bende, Manohar Joshi, Minal, Shakar, Prasanjit Patil, Revati, Egappan, Kripal, Anpari, Satyendra Bhatt, Smita Kot, Suvarna Pansambal, Tejashri, and Thani. And all of you are on a system where you can actually punch in yes or no. Very simple, right? Even if you think that you may attend, just put down a yes if you want to do that. So the fact that you have come to this webinar and invested at least half an hour of your sleeping time on this shows that maybe you have some interest in coming to the conference, and you wanted to get some information about it, and that's why you're here listening to me devote some time talking about it, right? Okay, I'm going to close the poll. I didn't get too much response, but from what I got, some of you are going to come, and some are not going to come, and maybe thinking about it. So that's fine. Hopefully, at least some of you have been awakened in this process. Okay, so let us see. I'm going to quickly spend a few more minutes, and before ending, I don't want to take up too much of your time because unless there's a a lot of interest from the audience in some of the details. Okay, so here the details are the I'm going to put up something about the program to give you an idea of what the program might look like. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we have the finally one person has woken up. Okay, Anil is awake anyway. Okay, so that's a okay. So this is sorry, Anil. Thanks for reminding me. I was going to so the papers that first one was papers, and so there was half of you said no, and half of you said yes. Good point. I completely forgot, Anil, that I was going to give you a second poll. Thank you for waking me up. So I'm going to give another poll. Are you planning to attend? And maybe now this will give a little more life. Okay, are you planning to attend ICTIEE at any one of the locations? Good. Now we might get a little more interaction. Hopefully, let's see. Yes, no, and save, and then we're gonna launch it. Okay, here we go. We got another poll launched. Now we get a little faster reaction here. 31% voted. Let's see if it moves beyond that. And they all said they're going to attend, so that's good. So those who responded last time, out of which half of them said they would present a paper, the other half, we are going to attend, even though they're not going to present a paper, because 38% have voted. They all said they're going to attend. So that's good. We got at least a few participants that have that's confirmed. And no one has said no, so maybe I'm assuming that the rest of them will be thinking about it. I'll wait for another 10 seconds and share the results. If you're feeling a little drowsy, this is a good way to wake up. Press the button, yes or no. Okay, so I'm going to stop that right now, and some of you are reluctant to vote either way, and that's fine. So those of you who did vote, all 100% of them attendance, so that's a good thing. But then half of you did not vote for whatever reason, and that's fine too. You're having difficulty doing that, so I'm going to hide that, and I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. Great, thank you all for responding. Those who responded, for responding to the polls, and I'm going to get back to the to my screen. Okay, now we are working on the program. Okay, so and again, just to give you some idea of what are some of the important highlights of the program. The details are specific times, etc., time slots and schedules and all are not done yet, but this is the outline. Okay, so there will be workshops. In all three locations. In Hyderabad, it will be the half day on January 6th in the morning, in Rajkot the morning of January 9th, and then Jaipur in the morning of January 11th. Now the workshops will be of two types. One will be workshops by the sponsors, because they all are eligible to give workshops, and so you will find workshops by National Instruments on using LabVIEW, and a sponsor on using their tools, MATLAB on MathWorks on using MATLAB, etc. Dassault Systems, Cognitive Front, ULEX, and Kudos. So they're all going to demonstrate and give you training on how to use some of their tools. And then we have another category which will be from one of the experts. Some of them will be from the outside India and some from inside. And one will be, for example, one specific that we know of is the one on research and engineering education from faculty member from Arizona State University. Soham Sohoni will be giving that 3-hour workshop. Outcomes education, it will probably be a combination of US and Indian experts. Virtual labs, we have the Michael Auer from Austria, and some people from India will be partaking in that. Entrepreneurship will be another area where we will have workshop, and then a workshop on industry partnership, teaching and learning innovations such as project-based learning, and a workshop on strategic planning. So these will be on the morning of the first day. before the inauguration of the conference. Okay, so if you plan to come to the conference, don't just start with the inauguration, but come right away early in the morning on the first day, so you can get to choose any one of these workshops to attend and benefit from it. And as I said, this is an example of what value you get for participating in the conference. Even if you are not presenting a paper, you have some outstanding workshops being given, which normally would not be available to you. And the program itself, in Hyderabad, it's 1 day more than the others, and so Hyderabad, the inaugural will be at about 4 p.m. in the evening on January. Sorry, I should have put the date wrong. January 6th, and then it ends on January 8th at 6 p.m. with the valedictory. Then all of us rush to Rajkot for the inauguration there at 2 p.m. on January 9th, and then January 10th, the valedictory will be at 6 p.m. And again, we rush to Jaipur. There are about 30 of us, mostly international experts, who are all going to be shepherded together, so to make to all the locations. And so in Manipal University, it starts at 2 p.m. on January 11th and ends at 6 p.m. on January 12th. And so, what will the sessions look like? And again, these are planned, organized in such a way so that participants will benefit from them in terms of getting a lot of general information, knowledge, motivation for their teaching and learning activities in their institutions. And so, this is the value you get even if you just participate. Of course, you're presenting a paper, then you get benefits from presenting the paper as well as the sessions. So there will be after the inaugural session, we'll have a large session on employability. And this is where we will have industry experts and having a panel discussion on what the concept of employability and how we can work together with industry and academia to improve employability. There'll be a session on outcome-based education, and a combination of industry experts from outside India and inside India will talk about their experiences and provide some guidance. Then we will have a session on paper session, and depending on the number of papers submitted, there'll be a whole bunch of parallel sessions, so A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on, paper sessions on different areas of research. So one session might be on engineering education for computer science, and another might be engineering education for mechanical engineering, and so on. And some might be just outcome-based education, and so on. Then there will be 2 parallel sessions, one on teaching and learning innovations, and there we will feature some of our certification programs and have some of the faculty who have got certified to come up and talk about their experiences and so on. Parallel to that will be a session on governance and leadership. So there the whole recent concept of Gurukuls that we started, how to transform institutions from within, and the leadership and so on, faculty assessment and so on, and all of that is going with that parallel session. So then 6A and B, 2 parallel sessions, one on entrepreneurship, which kind of links up with Startup India under that umbrella, and another one on online education, which comes under the umbrella of Digital India. So those will be happening in parallel, 2 parallel sessions on those 2 topics. And then we'll have 2 parallel sessions, one 7A and 7B, one on project-based learning, and some of that will be on the Purdue program, engineering projects and community service, and then another parallel to that will be Make in India and how engineering education gets involved with that. And once again, we have another paper session, A, B, C, D, E, F, and depending on the number of papers. And then we start winding up with an award ceremony, and this year we plan to give several awards, I think 10 or 15 outstanding engineering educator awards. Very soon we will start the process of that, of sending out seeking nominations and selecting, and finally we have the valedictory. So that's what that is, and that's all the information I have for you today. So I'm going to just let you ask questions at this point. And wait for a few minutes while you have questions. I plan to give these webinars once every week. Okay, so as a drumbeat, and so encourage other faculty from your own institutions who might be interested in finding out more, may have some doubts, to join these webinars. So from now on till every week, as long as somebody shows up for these webinars, I'll be giving these webinars, okay, just for information. Particularly the deadline for papers are coming up, but even after that, I'll keep giving the webinars so that people get interested, motivated to come to one of the locations, if not more than one. Okay, I am done. Okay, so I'm just waiting. If no one asks any comments or questions, that must mean that I've done a great job or I've done a lousy job. Either way. Okay, so this is fun. I mean, it's exciting. I'm in India till the end of this month, and I go back to the US, and then it will be, instead of 4:30, it will be 7 o'clock in the morning, and I'll be doing these webinars. I'll wait for just another minute or two. I haven't seen any comments or questions come up. Let me just check in case they came and I didn't notice. Okay, great. Thank you all. Those of you who have patiently stood by. Ava Patak, who's on the web, Anil Pandit, Jagdish Kodihar, Kavita Bani, Palnati Raja, Manisha Bende, Anwar Joshi, Minar Shakar, Revati Yagappan, Nepal Ranpara, Smita Kot, Suvarna Pansambal, Tejasvi Devkar, and Thani Vedantri. Thank you all for joining and taking valuable time with us. And Jai Ho.